On April 10th, a crucial issue was addressed during the commission meeting at the Miramar City Hall. Miami-Dade County's proposal to build a new trash-burning incinerator in northwest Miami-Dade, less than a mile away from the city of Miramar. If this proposed site for the new trash incinerator is approved, it would negatively impact the environment, including endangered species living in the Everglades, and more importantly, the health of the residents of Miramar.
We're here today because of an urgent crisis that is in Miami-Dade County as it relates to the future of their solid waste disposal in Miami-Dade County. Because of the Cavanta incinerator fire that took place last year, it really accelerated Miami-Dade County's urgent strategic plan in how they would manage waste in Miami-Dade County. As a result, Miami-Dade County Mayor initially recommended a site right next door to Miramar. Currently, right now, Miami-Dade County is evaluating 3 sites to build their new mass burn facility. The Opa-locka West Airport site, a site in Medley, and the current existing site in Doral, where the Cavanta incinerator burned down. We are concerned that the Opa-locka West Airport site remains the preferred site. It's nothing that we've been told, it's just that we have these concerns because it has been deemed as the site furthest away from Miami-Dade County residents. And in fact, Miami-Dade County's own report stated that there were no residents near this site. But if you contemplate, there are nearly 250,000 Broward County residents within the direct vicinity that would be impacted by the construction of this site on a very sensitive site just across the street from the Everglades. Now, Miami-Dade County is currently doing air quality studies, and we don't know when they're going to make their recommendation. That recommendation can come next week, it can come next month, or it can come 5 months from now. But if the site is selected in the very short term, we're concerned. We know that there is a more suitable site than the site that's nearest us. We are urging Miami-Dade County to do the right thing and to build this site on a more suitable site, a site that has less impact on the environment, a site that impacts fewer people, and a site that just makes sense. The owner of the Medley site has offered and formally have sent a very reasonable offer to Miami-Dade County to make their site the site for their incinerator, which would be so far away from impacted residents, having no environmental impacts like the Everglades and wetlands that the Opa-locka West site does. And in fact, the owner will donate the proceeds to charities in Miami-Dade County. So when you contemplate Miami-Dade County solving their mass or their comprehensive solid waste solution of having multiple assets on one site, you have a site that's already zoned for solid waste. You have a willing seller that is available and have offered to the county to sell that site. So our question is, has Miami-Dade County engaged or respond to that proposal? Because if a selection is coming soon, how can you select the Medley site if you don't have any terms of purchase on the table, any intent to purchase, or some document that states that if we select this site, we'll go there? So we want to urge Miami-Dade County to do the right thing and to select the right sites because our community has existed here for decades. Don't bring your trash to our backyard.
I've recently spoken in front of the South Florida Regional Planning Council, and it is their mission to intervene in disputes between local governments. And we're urging them to really get behind this and to ensure that, again, it's not a City of Miramar issue. In fact, it's not even a Broward County. It's a regional issue that we need to really step up and make sure that everybody, all the stakeholders' voices are heard, and that is not what is happening right now in Miami-Dade County. We basically got wind of it when it was out there in the public sphere. There was never a phone call made, never a conversation, and that's unacceptable. And so today we're here urging Miami-Dade County to reconsider their site. We have petitions that are currently being signed We want folks to go to miramarfl.gov/burn for more information and to sign that petition.
For the Miami-Dade County to even consider moving an unwelcome waste-to-energy plant from Doral to just minutes and practically next to an established residential area in the city of Miramar, it is just bad public policy. Public health has no borders. If the waste-to-energy plant is not good for the residents of Doral, it's not good for Miami-Dade County, then it is not good for the residents of the city of Miramar, and it is not good for Broward County.
There are 30 endangered species living in the Everglades and nearly 60 species of endangered birds in the Miami-Dade Broward area. Wind-borne emissions from this proposed incinerator will have significant negative impact on our wildlife and our beloved pets. We urge Miami-Dade County Commission to do the right thing and select the right site. I like to personalize this. Only this past weekend, I was showing off via Facebook my amaryllis in bloom. If you pollute my environment, the insects won't be able to pollinate my amaryllis next season. Do the right thing, Miami-Dade County.
Today, I'm here to represent the junior team and all of the youth of Miramar. I wanted to thank Mayor Wayne Messam for inviting me to be here today, and to all of you for listening to me. We live in South Florida, where we are most vulnerable to the effects of climate change. Our problems include, but are not limited to, sweltering temperatures, polluted waters, and rising sea levels. Adding on to that, the incinerator that is considered to be built can have disastrous effects on not just wildlife, but most importantly, our health, as toxic pollutants are introduced into our air, land, and water. Our generation should not have to take on these issues. When we throw away our trash, it often becomes a situation of out of sight, out of mind. However, we cannot let this continue. We must educate youth, adults, and elders on our solid waste disposal crisis and encourage a push towards zero waste without incineration. While this is an issue of where to build the incinerator, it's also an issue of not building the incinerator at all. We must stand together despite our generational differences and support something we know is worth saving, our planet and our health. Our youth will be the ones stepping up in the next few decades and must deal with all of these issues created. It makes me sad to see that current policymakers don't take the future into consideration. But I know you all care about your daughters, sons, nieces, and nephews. So I know you'll fight against incineration, fight against climate change, and fight with us.
We've been in this fight for years to stop incineration in Florida because our members were experiencing the harms of incineration in their communities. They spoke of foul odors and the toxins that were being released that had negative impacts on their air, their water, and water quality that led to creating the harm to their environment and human health. And not only that, but the burden of this pollution is not borne equally. It is disproportionately impacts communities that are historically Black, Latino, Indigenous, and low income. It's no surprise that of the 10 incinerators in Florida, 9 are located in environmental justice communities. And these communities face the largest health impacts from toxic pollutants, odors, and waste hauling associated with incineration. Studies have shown that the areas near waste incineration experience higher rates of cancer, asthma, and reproductive complications. The burning of trash also releases harmful and toxic pollutants into the atmosphere, affecting the respiratory, cardiovascular, immune, and like I mentioned, reproductive and nervous systems of those who live nearby.
City of Pembroke Pines stands in absolute and complete support of our neighbor, Miramar, in this issue. And not just because they are our neighbor, but because we too are affected. We oppose incineration, no matter where it's placed. Since humans have walked the earth, we have principally gotten rid of our waste in one of two ways. We bury it or we burn it. That's just the way history has been. So many hundreds of thousands of years later, despite so much improvement in our technology and in our science, today, the principal ways we are getting rid of our waste is we bury it or we burn it, and that has to change. We have to come up with viable solutions to that dynamic because it's poisoning our water, it's poisoning our land, our air, our lungs. It's affecting our health. There has to be a better way to do it, and the line has to be drawn at some place and new solutions proposed so that this method of getting rid of our trash can be eliminated once and for all. And so the challenge is there, not just to stop the pollution of our air, our land, our water, our health, but also to come up with the necessary alternative so that no one can say we're just complaining, but we have solutions. And this is the time to draw that line. This is the time for us to be in solidarity with our neighbors, and this is the time to say no burning.
The mayor and the commission of Miramar should not be up here saying, we don't know if it's going to happen in 5 minutes, 5 days, a month, 6 months. They should have the right, they should be at the table with Miami-Dade County. It's right on their doorstep. This is just not right. I understand borders. I understand where one county ends and the other county begins, but it affects them more than anyone else. And the fact that they are blocked out of that conversation is just not right. So I would urge Miami-Dade County to rethink that. So long as this site is being considered, Miramar needs to be at the table, and they need to be part of the discussion. And that's just the right thing to do.
Our environment, our trash problem here in the state of Florida, it's a state issue and it's a regional issue. And we should be working together as partners. And I ask Miami-Dade to please bring Miramar to the table to consider other sites that are better suited for this. This site is just over a mile from the Everglades, our most precious asset. As a state, we have been working to restore the Everglades. And now we're going to put an incinerator just across the street? It doesn't make sense. Miami-Dade County would be infuriated if the shoe was on the other foot. So I am asking them to be good neighbors, bring Miramar to the table, and seriously consider other sites. Don't just put them on the table. Seriously consider them. And this is the moment that we as a community need to look to the future. We are the custodians of Florida's environment, of the Everglades, and we need to leave our community a better place for our children. There are all other solutions. We need to look towards zero waste. We need to look towards recycling. And as your state representative, I fight against every bill that is passed in that state legislature that preempts these good people from making the decisions that are best for their community. So I stand with you, and I am here for you.
We're neighboring cities, and so sometimes we have friendly rivalries, but anytime an outsider wants to impact one of us, it impacts all of us. And we gather around like a family should. I spent over 30 years in the Air Force and the FBI protecting those who couldn't protect themselves and speaking up for the voiceless and helping those that were disadvantaged. And that's exactly what Mayor Messum's doing here, trying to protect those that can't speak up or won't speak up for themselves. And we need more people and more leadership like that. So Mayor, we will be with you for this and other issues which impact the broader community. So thank you for your leadership and thank you for doing this.
The mayor's doing a great job in leading Miami-Dade County. But on this issue, they have a decision to make. They have a charge to process refuse in their county. But they can do that in a manner that does not impact their residents and our residents right here in Broward County. They can do that in a way that's sustainable. They can do that in a way that does not harm the environment. And they can do that in a way that does not impact our children, our grandmothers, our schools, our playgrounds, our businesses, and most importantly, our amazing quality of life. So we are urging Miami-Dade County to do the right thing and to select the right site.
Island TV has pledged to interview Mayor Daniela Cava to investigate this matter further and provide more clarity on the matter. We will continue to provide you with the latest updates as soon as more information becomes available.